This is CommonWell TV, where we're interviewing some of the top health IT industry experts and finding out how their organizations are assisting in worldwide interoperability. Time now to hear from one of the vice presidents of Brightree. That is Navin Gupta. And Navin, why is interoperability so important to you and your clients?
It's a great question. So as we look at the transitions that are happening within healthcare, if you look at the change from fee for service to fee for value, if you look at the blurring of the payer provider, particularly with risk-based contracts, and more importantly, if you look at the narrowing of the referral network, providers are feeling not only just that, but they're feeling economic pressures, they're feeling regulatory pressures. So those that will really survive in this new world will be the ones that are open to this new ecosystem and are committed to interoperability. Now, in post-acute in particular, what we're beginning to see is that patients are receiving care across multiple care settings, and it becomes really, really important to be able to unlock this data so that the providers are able to drive better clinical outcomes. Now, what CommonWell really does for us is that providers powered by Brightree and MatrixCare that have this solution in place, they have a distinct advantage because now no longer are they dependent on some of the older technologies, but seamlessly information is able to flow in, and they're able to really look at past medical conditions and clinical records and drive improved outcomes. And so it's now imperative in this new world. Interoperability drives improved outcomes, and this is the way forward.
Naveen, if you could share maybe just a brief anecdote or story when it came to a CommonWell client that really kind of hit home or was something that was valuable to you guys to take away.
Yeah, there are a number of stories I could share. What in large part has been an aha moment for providers as they begin to realize, wait, I don't need to play phone tag with my referral sources. I don't need to rely on paper or rely on fax, for example, that I can deploy this system and clinical records are going to be sought. It's going to be looked at through the locator service. They're imported into the system. And more importantly, I don't need to re-key in this information. Now, this depends from EHR to EHR, but Brightree, we were able to bring in this information and import them as discrete data. The amount of time it saves the providers, the amount of efficiency it drives, once this begins to start settling in and that they see that I don't need to follow the legacy methodology, it's a huge light bulb that goes on, and it's a tremendous win-win for them.
When it comes to advancement, and 2020 is upon us, what is Brightree excited about in regards to interoperability here in the immediate future?
Yeah, so think about it. 10 years ago, CMS had this federal incentive program that sort of launched this interoperability journey. And, included in there was really the acute providers and the ambulatory providers. The post-acute folks did not necessarily have a seat at the table. But things are beginning to change now because now not only are you beginning to see some regulatory aspects that are beginning to drive that, but you're also beginning to see payers and managed care organizations and ACOs demand this. You're beginning to see upstream referral sources demand this. And then you're beginning to see providers realize that if I don't really play in this interoperability space, I'm going to be squeezed out of the referral network. So that's one big compelling part of it that we're beginning to see. The second part of it is technology and innovation is moving at a very, very fast clip. Now, with Fire-based APIs and improved endpoints and 360X, we are beginning to see just more and more technology that's helping to assist. Think about CommonWell, right? In about 5 years, you've gone from 4 states to 50 states. You've gone from thousands of providers to now 50, 60,000 providers, from tens of thousands of clinical records exchanged to hundreds of millions of clinical records exchanged. So the increase is not linear, it's almost exponential. But at the same time, we're just getting started. And it's a good place for us to be because the momentum is there and we're going to begin to see more and more of that in 2020.
And Naveen, finally, where do you see some of the benefits coming forward when it comes to some of the recent government regulations in regards to data sharing?
Yeah, I think TEFCA in particular is really important because what it does is it drives a common set of principles and an architecture to work towards. And so once you have some government regulations, once you have some government standards that begin to drive electronic health information exchange, now as a technology vendor and as a provider, I begin to start having confidence that I know my counterparts in other parts of the health ecosystem will begin to do the same. And so I think it provides a really compelling argument to say, look, we can go all in into this because we know our counterparts within the ecosystem are going to be doing that. So we see that and view that extremely positively. And what we're beginning to see is, as a result of that, we will see more and more adoption of interoperability as we keep moving into 2020 and further down.
Well, Brightree has seen the growth within CommonWell and the Alliance here over the years, and one of our proud partners. As Navin, thanks so much as always. And for more information on Brightree, as well as how to become a member of CommonWell, we invite you to log on to commonwellalliance.org. Thanks again, Navin.
Thank you.